What is going on, people inside that internet machine? Welcome to this episode of The Pickups. Guys, I found some SEGA Master System games. It's been a while. I got a lot of love, a lot of nostalgia for the SEGA Master System, so let's just get into the pickups. All right, so we're gonna play catch up a little bit right here. Picked these up like this week. A bunch of movies. These were in the free bin, okay? So I didn't pay anything for these. I just dug them out. You have Speed and Turner and Hooch and some Chuck Norris movies. This movie was interesting. I'm going to give it a watch. It's called Millennium. Apparently, this is like some type of cult classic, cult favorite or something. I've never heard of it. But, yeah, so I'm definitely going to give that a watch. And it's like rare, out of print, hard to find on eBay. And then it's like $5.99. So it's who cares? Yeah, so anyway, very excited about the SEGA Master System pickup that you guys are about to see. I'm not a big hardcore collector for the SEGA Master System, but I do have a lot of love for the SEGA Master System. When I grew up, we had a Nintendo, we had an Atari 7800 at my grandparents' house, and then at my aunt and uncle's house, they had a SEGA Master System. And it was also really fun to go over there and play games that you couldn't play on Nintendo, like Choplifter. What else? Hang On, Safari Hunt, Aztec Adventure, and I just remember like the colors are so vivid and the sound was awesome. So, I have a SEGA Master System. I almost have all the games that I remember playing as a kid. I need a copy of Monopoly and like parlor games and maybe like Great Football or something, some common games. And I'll have that all put together. But it's always nice to get some SEGA Master System games because you really don't see them out there that often. And when you do, the person typically wants, eBay prices. And at that point, it's like, well, why wouldn't I just buy it on eBay, get the 30-day money-back guarantee, have it delivered right to my front door? People want eBay prices, but don't provide eBay service. Got this at the thrift store. It was $2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the Xbone One. Does not have it. I don't even know if it has an insert. Most of these games nowadays do not have inserts, but... yeah, VHS, my Xbox One game that I picked up that's going in the doubles bin. And my fond memories of the SEGA Master System. Let's get into it. I got a really exciting topic of discussion, so let's do it. All right, so here we go. Pop quiz hot shots. Got to get rid of all of your video games, okay? You can only have one console. This console will never break down. It will be in mint condition for the rest of your life. It will never run out of batteries, I guess, if you want a handheld. Controllers will never go bad. And you get the entire library. It's region-free. What console are you taking? It's a tough question. What do you base your answer on? PlayStation 2 has a massive library of games. You never run out of games. Super Nintendo has maybe the greatest library of games overall. And now you're getting the PAL games and the Japanese-only games. You don't have to worry about translation issues. Everything will be translated for you. You just get your one magic console with the entire library of games that you can play for the rest of your life. Which one are you taking? It's tough, man. When we have these debates, it's usually like, oh, the PlayStation 2, you can't use its backwards compatibility. How about that? You have to have you get a PlayStation 2, you have the PlayStation 2 only. But it's like PlayStation 2 because it's got like all these great games, Super Nintendo, nostalgia, best controller. No one ever says really like the Game Boy Advance, which has a killer library. And a lot of those Nintendo classics are on the Game Boy Advance, so you would be able to get that as well. A lot of Sega games on there too. So that was just like a weird time. The Game Boy Advance, I think, as a library, is a little bit underrated. I think there are a lot of people that know that the Game Boy Advance is awesome, but it's still a little underappreciated in my opinion. But yeah, what are you taking? One magic console, it's region-free, never break down. Which console are you taking? Maybe you take a console that you don't know anything about. That way all the games are kind of fresh and new, like Turbo Graphic or Turbo CD or something. Neo Geo Pocket Color, something. I don't know. What's your choice? At the end of this video, I'm going to let you know what my choice is. All right, so we'll just power through. We got a couple media items, nothing crazy. Great White Hype on VHS. Tyler hooked me up with this. I've seen this movie a million times. I love it. It's got Sam Jackson, Jeff Goldblum, Damon Wayans, John Lovett, Corbin Burnson, like star-studded cast. Very funny movie. I I did get Microsoft Simulator sealed on PC. I listed it. I spent all day yesterday just cleaning, listing eBay items, cleaning out my eBay store, reducing prices in my eBay store. And I'm at 99 followers. So I just need one more follower to get to 100. You know what I mean? So, new James Bond film themes on CD. Yeah, I love that it says new because this is probably from like the 80s or something. You know what I mean? Because it's just like the Connery movies and the Roger Moore movies. And yeah, I mean, I geek out over James Bond. I have the whole collection of not only the movies, but the theme songs and the scores and everything. You know, it's like the gold MCA Master Recording Edition, whatever it is, on CDs. And, you know, when I saw this for $2, I was like, I gotta have it because I love James Bond. You know, there's just something romantic about the character of James Bond, especially the 60s and 70s version, you know, representing that Western freedom, that, you know, saving the world. The technology in the movies from the 60s and 70s I love because, you know, back then it was like science fiction. Now in a James Bond movie, you believe that the technology is actually there. You know what I mean? Like you believe someone would be able to take over a satellite or something. But anyway, excuse me. I did pick up a couple DVDs, but whatever. So Tyler and I were out running around on Thursday, and we stopped at this pawn shop, and, you know, we're kind of looking through the games. He's like, "Are you looking for anything in particular?" And we're like, "No, just haven't been in a while, just kind of taking a look around." And he starts asking me about like RPGs. So we're down one of the aisles looking at consoles, and he just comes up and goes, "Here, you can have this. It's Middle Earth Shadow of War on PS4, so a free game. How about that? Can't complain." And then, of course, Tyler got this for $30, Samurai Jack on PlayStation 2. So we worked out a little tradesy, and I can't wait to play this. It will go on the list of games that I beat for the year because I've already beaten this game on the GameCube, and I think it's the same game. But I will play through the PlayStation 2 version. I will put it on my PlayStation games I beat. I will add it to the list. But yeah, I've never really done this before where I've played the same game on multiple consoles. I don't know how I count that, but either way, go to the flea market on Main, and they're always good with pricing. Last time they hooked me up with $2 6th-gen games. This time around they had Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and the Assassin's Creed. Is this the Ezio collection? The Ezio collection? On the Switch. Okay. So they had $30 on Mario 3D World, and then they had $17 on Assassin's Creed. So $47. I said, what's the out the door pay in cash price? He goes, "Well, I could do 40." And I said, "All right, well that's a good deal. That's very generous of you. Let me think about it, and you know, I'll let you know before I leave." So I'm over looking at another booth, and he comes up and goes, "Listen, if you really want those games, best I could do is 35 cash." So we got both of these for 35 cash. I think this one still sells for 40, and this one's about $20. So not a lot of room for profit, but they're Nintendo Switch games, so they should be able to sell pretty fast. So I've been watching this Master System lot on Facebook. All right, the guy had it at like 110, then it was 100, then it was 90, then it was 80, then it was 70, then it was 60. And this week he finally put it down to 50, and I'm like, you know, 11 Sega Master System games for $50. That's a pretty good deal. That's $4.65 a game. And there was only one sports game in the entire lot, which is cool. And that sports game is Great Baseball. I already have it. All the games in the cases are missing the manuals though, which isn't like the worst deal. So I kind of priced them out in my head just based on cartridge prices, and a lot of the cases are cracked or like destroyed. So Great Baseball, that'll be a double for me. Here's the I only got this lot for like 2 games. I only want 2 games out of this lot. The rest of them I'm gonna sell. So Enduro Racer, that's the mark of a well-played Sega Master System game right there. This from putting it in and out of the cartridge slot on the console. But yeah, Enduro Racer. It's a pretty cool game. It's like Excite Bike isometric form. Action Fighter. Kind of like Spy Hunter on a motorcycle. Afterburner, which I played. The Sega Master System looks like choppy sometimes, but the graphics are still nice. You know what I mean? I was considering keeping these. I don't know if I will. We got Rambo and Alien Syndrome. Alien Syndrome. Those cartridges need to be cleaned. Ugh. It's so funny because I only have 6 Sega Master System games in my collection. So by getting like 11 games, like 10 games, because, that's a double. By getting 10 games, it's like 140% more. you basically doubled and a halved your entire Sega Master System collection. But yeah, Rescue Mission. This is a light gun only game. Isn't that exciting? Global Defense, which is like a shooter. It's weird though, because you play as like this satellite and you have a reticle that goes around and you're trying to shoot things. It's just a really weird shooter. It's not something that I would play. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of that one. Man, look at that case. That's terrible. Terrible. A game that like is probably the best game in the lot, but again, I don't care about Double Dragon at all. I popped this in, played it earlier. It was choppy. It's slow. I just never been a fan of Double Dragon. It does have some severe label damage right there, so that's not good. And then the only 2 games that I really wanted in the lot, the first one is Shinobi, classic Sega arcade game. And yeah, cartridge is pretty nice shape. Just missing the manuals, not the worst thing in the world. And then definitely wanted this game in the collection. Outrun, baby. What does it say? Twice the mega power. Can you believe that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Boom. Nice condition copy of Outrun. Just missing the manual. All right. All right, now it might be a surprise here. So here's my answer to the Hot Shots question. If I had to take one console, region free, never break down, for the rest of my life, I'm gonna have to take the PlayStation 2. I'm just going to. The amount of games that you would be getting would be so massive that you would literally never run out of things to do. I just spent like 2.5 weeks playing Hot Shots Golf 3. Very ridiculous. It's an arcade golf game. We all know what that is, right? But there's like 15 unlockable characters and like 8 or 9 caddies or something. And I unlocked all those, got all the items, finished first in all the tournaments, finally saw the end credits. And while that game does have flaws, that would be a game that if you only had one console in the entire library of games, that you could sort of sink your teeth into, buckle down, and play through. Now, there are some annoyances in Hot Shots Golf 3 for sure. But you just have an appreciation for that library. So coming in at number 2 would have been the Super Nintendo. To have all of the PAL Super Nintendo games and the Super Famicom games would be incredible. And then coming in at number 3, I think, would be the Game Boy Advance. Again, large library of games, a lot of different companies making games on the Game Boy Advance. It's sort of like a melting pot. You got Nintendo, Sega, Atari, Capcom, Konami. Like a lot of the great developers were making games for the Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of great games. TurboGrafx was high on my list. Nintendo, of course, would probably be top 5. You got all the Famicom games and the exclusives and everything. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, let me know in the comments section, what would your one magical console be? All right, wait for the sun to go down. You can kind of see it's still sunny outside. Couple pieces of house cleaning things, and we will get out of here for tonight. But listen, and Tyler saw this. We were at Goodwill. And Goodwill is now selling these Amazon mystery boxes for $59.99. And I'm like, what in the hell's going on? Like, is Goodwill buying these mystery boxes from Amazon for like $20 and then trying to sell them for $60? I have a pretty good relationship with the people that work at my Goodwill. So I asked, I'm like, what's in here? They're like toys or shoes or clothes or movies or what? And they were like, we don't know. They just sent them to the store, told us to put $60 on them and put them on a pallet. You can see from the photos how insane this is. So again, Goodwill, if you want to be in the retail business and all that stuff, maybe you should lose your 501c3. It's absolutely nuts, And And then when that stuff doesn't sell, let's say they paid $20 or $30 a box from Amazon for that. When that stuff doesn't sell, that's when the DVD prices go up to $3 and the VHS tapes go up to like $2.50. So they start raising the price on everything else to recoup their money for these stupid Amazon boxes. But anyway, listen guys, this is a real life fucking gaming channel. We talk about gaming, we play games, we collect games, we pick up games. And I like to talk about games, especially the games that I beat. I mentioned Hot Shots Golf earlier. Great PlayStation 2 game. Like I said, it's got some flaws, but it's still pretty good. I played through Samurai Jack on the PS2 already. I couldn't not play that before I put it in the bin with the other PS2 games. I'd already beaten that game on the GameCube, 100%ed it. But you have to 100% easy, normal, and hard mode to unlock everything, just in case you ever want to play that. But Samurai Jack, if you've played that game, you know it is a very underrated 6th generation game. And instead of spending $70 or $80 on a brand new game, maybe invest in a really good retro game like Samurai Jack. You know, I think the GameCube game's super expensive, but I think the Xbox and the PS2 are comparable, you know, 80 to 100 bucks, something like that. But definitely worth your time, really fun game. I showed you guys this game earlier in the episode, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury on the Switch. I'm into this for about $24. My plan was to play this and then throw it up on my eBay store to recoup my money. I delisted it from my eBay store. Mario 3D World is one of the best modern Mario games. You know, I'm a sucker for the old school Mario, Mario 2, 3, Mario World, but this is one of the greatest modern Super Mario games. It's just so fun to play. The worlds are awesome, expansive. They're all different. I love that there's like Captain Toad treasure tracker, secret levels, you know, like bonus levels in there. And I'm a sucker for Captain Toad. I love that. When you beat the game, there's like 3 new worlds. You do that, you unlock Rosalina as a playable character. And then, of course, you have Bowser's Fury, which is like a traditional 3D Mario game where there's a course and you play that course over and over again to do different objectives to get power stars. In this game, it's called Cat Shines, but you get the idea. It kind of plays like a traditional Mario 64 3D Mario type game in that regard. But when I got done playing through both of those games, saw end credits on both of them, I thought, man, I really just want to keep playing. And I went back and continued to play and play and play. And I think that's the mark of a great game, is when you beat it, you then want to go back and continue to play it, whether it's to get a better time or do 100% completion or play it on a difficult mode or something like that. That is really the mark of a great game. And this is absolutely a great game. So like I said, I delisted that from my eBay store. I will be adding it to the collection. I will proudly be having that in my collection. But anyway, guys, what have you been picking up? Make sure you leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share on social media. Don't forget to bang that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of your CM retro gaming goodness. Guys, take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one.